Supporters are flocking to Ace Magashule's stomping ground in Bloemfontein. Some are dressed in ANC party regalia, openly defying the ruling party's directive not to support alleged corrupt officials in court. Well, of course, in party colours. Magashule faces charges of corruption linked to the Free State asbestos saga. eNCA's Thulasizwe Simelane, Siphamandla, Goge and Aviwe, Mtila are monitoring those developments. And joining me right now, live there from Bloemfontein, colleagues, good to see you and good to have you. Thulas, let me start off with you. I mean, you are standing at the very ground where we expected, of course, to see Ace Magashule handing himself over. That process, of course, being there, monitored by his group of lawyers. What have you seen so far?
Well, Dumelo, it is quite interesting that the ANC had to come to Bloemfontein, where it was born 108 years ago, to come and face one of its key defining moments. The ANC was born here at a church in Vryhoek 108 years ago, and today this is one of those key defining moments that strike at the heart of the unity of the ANC. Within the next few hours, Ace Magashule is expected to come through to that building that you see behind me. The roller doors are still shut, and basically that's the entrance to the ABSA building, which houses the provincial Hawks offices. The focus will be on the 6th floor, which is where, in terms of the arrest warrant that was obtained by the Hawks, is exactly where Ace Magashule is meant to present himself, to answer to charges, in fact to be told about the charges that he will have to answer to when it goes over in court. And those charges stem from the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act. He is accused of contravening 3 sections in as far as that act is concerned. The one section has to do with the general offence of corruption, which has to do with receiving or offering gratifications to influence the exercise of authority and power. The second one has to do, is specific actually to a public official, which Ace Magashule was when these incidents are said to have taken place in 2014-2015. That's the other section that relates to the activities of gratification of a public official. And the third one has to do with oversight, the fact that you are aware, or you reasonably ought to have been aware, that corruption was happening and you just did not report it, you didn't do anything about it. That creates an offence. So it's the build-up, a lot of police activity outside the ABSA building here in Bloemfontein as we await Ace Magashule to come through to present himself.
Indeed, this you referred to obviously during his tenure as the Premier of the Free State Province, during his time under which that asbestos deal to Thulasizwe, of course, was then given to controversial businessman Edwin Sodi. Aviwe, Mtila, you're standing just outside of court today, and we understand that perhaps even amongst others, what we can expect besides the appearance of Ace Magashule there is perhaps even a bail application.
Certainly one of the expectations as he makes his first appearance at this Bloemfontein Magistrate Court. You can expect him to be added on to the 7 that have already appeared on Wednesday charged for the asbestos corruption. They faced 60 charges of fraud, money laundering, as well as corruption related to the 2014 asbestos tender, 255 million rand asbestos tender. When they appeared here on Wednesday, that matter was postponed for further investigations to the 19th of February 2021. Now, the state did make it clear that 3 more suspects still need to be added on, and if they are added on by the 19th of February, the matter will then go to the High Court. We understand Ace Magashule is expected to be the first of those 3, even though the NPA didn't make that disclaimer. But today, we're expecting quite quick proceedings here inside court as the ANC SG makes his first appearance.
Indeed. And moving to my colleague Siphamandla, Goge, where you're standing outside and seeing some of course, adorning ANC regalia. This clearly looking like some, perhaps even of Ace Magashule's supporters. Clearly, they're defying some directives that have been communicated by the ruling party that no member should be, of course, protesting or at least organizing in groups today.
It would seem that call has fallen on deaf ears, because we are seeing a number of ANC members and supporters of the party's Secretary General Ace Magashule. They are trickling in, making their way into the Lodge Logan Park here in Bloemfontein. Few minutes ago, I've just seen a large number of people clad in the regalia of the MK, and I can tell you that we will show you those visuals once we see them in our side, because right now they've gone to the other side. That's where they are having a briefing. Party members are here wearing party regalia, and they are saying they are here to support their SG. They believe that this is a political conspiracy. But right now we are joined by Ernest Goge, who's all the way from Limpopo. Baba, thank you very much for your time. How many buses are you bringing to Bloemfontein today?
Thank you very much to your viewers. We managed to organize more than 30 buses from Limpopo province. Some of them, they are on the way and so on. And we are saying that we are all the way from Limpopo, which was the stronghold of other cabals and so on. But the Secretary General is there in the province of Limpopo. That's why we are having a lot of buses that are from Limpopo.
But the ANC has said you can support those who are accused of fraud and corruption. You can come in your individual or personal capacities. Don't wear the party regalia. You are wearing the ANC T-shirt here. But why don't you wait? Because your critics will say you seem to be supporting those who are accused of corruption, whereas they should have their day in court. If your SG is innocent, a competent court of law will clear him.
No, there have been many comrades who were accused in the ANC of wrongdoings. People who were supported by different comrades of the ANC. So I think those things of saying that we must not wear party regalia to come and support the sitting secretary generals of the ANC is like a farce. We are not disagreeing with the ANC, but people must wear their regalia because ANC is our home at the end.
You say there is a political conspiracy against your Secretary General. Who is pushing that political agenda and that conspiracy? Give us names.
There is an Indian cabal that is collaborating with the white monopoly cabals to assist the Secretary General. Mr. Wongani Bongo did alerted the nations about these things that Comrade Ace is going to be arrested. The person who said these things publicly, so telling Wongani Bongo, it was Mr. Pravin Gordhan. I think it is in the public arena that it is a concocted case that wanted maybe to see the Secretary General stepping aside. But we are saying that the Secretary General was elected by the 90% branches of the ANC Nazareth. We are saying that he will be removed by branches in 2022, and we still want him to remain in his position.
Okay, Baba, thank you very much for your time. That is Ernest Goge. I'm going to ask you to step aside so that my colleague here, Joe Komani, will show you what is happening in the background. These are some of the ANC members that are marching here, and I can tell you that this gathering has a potential of being a super spreader of COVID-19. There is no social distancing. Some people are not wearing masks. Others are wearing masks, and I'm sure that will be a concern when it comes to health authorities in this country. As we know that COVID-19 is on the rise again, President Cyril Ramaphosa did address the nation about those concerns. So this gathering has a potential of being a super spreader of COVID-19, and I'm sure many people will be concerned about that. But ANC members and supporters say they are here to say hands off their SG.
Indeed, I mean, as you've mentioned even before, you've just spotted some of the MKMV members who you did say, colleague, are perhaps in a briefing at the moment, out of sight. But I'll come to you, Thulasizwe, at this moment before we wrap it up, colleague. I mean, what time then should we expect to see Ace Magashule walking into the building right behind you?
No specific time given, Dumelo, but the time that was given in the arrest warrant was 10 o'clock, and he was given specific details in terms of who is in charge of the investigation from the side of the Hawks, and that's the person that he should present himself to for the formalities, really, of him being informed of the charges that he will be facing in court. And then from there, the process will move from here at the ABSA building and move over to where our colleagues are standing by. The Aviwe Mtila will be inside court, and that's where actually the actual formal proceedings will take place. But make no doubt about it, have no doubt about it, Dumelo, this is an issue that is proving to be quite divisive inside the ANC. If the founding of the ANC here in Bloemfontein in 1912 was about the unity of the oppressed Africans, well, this one is certainly challenging the unity of the African National Congress itself, despite the statements that are being put out by the ANC. The flip side of what you were hearing in that conversation with Siphamandla Goge there is that you have ANC members here in the Free State who are saying that he's facing these charges in his individual capacity, and this has nothing to do with the ANC, and therefore this is an abuse of ANC structures in the province by the Provincial Executive Committee, which has said they've taken a decision to stand by Ace Magashule. There's that side that says that's simply abuse of the structures of the ANC, and they are saying that he should stand and face the justice system alone because he's accused in his individual capacity.
All right, then we've run out of time, but we'll be sure to get more updates from you as you follow through with this story on the ground in Bloemfontein. Aviwe, Mtila, Thulasizwe Simelane and Siphamandla Goge, our reporters on the ground, of course, following through with today as those events pan out, where the SG of the ANC, Ace Magashule, is expected to hand himself over today.